What can really make a person call off her own wedding? Phoebe Rogers is a clinical psychologist and a couples counselor who's helping couples reset their love lives through therapy, coaching, and her new book, Will It Happen For Me? In this video, Phoebe speaks about what really made her call off her wedding and how to recognize patterns that are leading you into toxic relationships. What about your journey through love? How did you learn so much? Were there certain things that you experienced that gave you so much perspective around this entire aspect of finding love?
Yes, so much heartbreak and such a sense of, will I ever be able to get this right? Will I ever be able to meet a person where I can have a lasting relationship? And up until my 30s, my mid-30s, I felt like I kept making these errors, these mistakes in terms of the partners I would choose. Because they weren't emotionally available, they had their own mental health struggles. I became stressed and anxious. I was over-functioning. I was giving everything of myself to try and really make my partner happy, and felt like it wasn't working, and really losing myself and not liking who I was becoming because I was just pleasing. And we talked a little bit about my story. I got to the point where I made this final mistake. I got swept off my feet and then realized I was in this same type of relationship at the age of 36 when I really so much wanted my happy ending. I decided to call off my engagement. We were engaged and we were due to be married 2 months before I said, I can't do this. And that was such a pivotal point.
My question is, when you were going through that, firstly, what was the mistake that you felt you were making on a repeated basis that led you to this realization, this is not right for me?
Yeah, I think a sense of rushing. What I have learned about myself is actually I had a deep fear of being alone, and that really comes from early life. I think in my parents' separation and maybe not feeling understood, but I was seeking for connection, and that was driving me to choose anyone who showed me love. And I got caught up in intensity of the relationship, of people who were charming, smooth, emotional. And because I wanted that so much, I think I would minimize all the red flags that were there in terms of their anger, their irritability, their unhappiness with their life, not having a life direction, in terms of their jealousy, of other friendships that I had maintained, of just my life really, and realizing that our values were so misaligned. In my last relationship, I felt like I couldn't talk about work, I couldn't celebrate my wins at work, I couldn't talk about mental health, and so very clearly I was minimizing red flags. I was focusing on, let's just make this work so I have a person by my side for the rest of my life, because I really think life was feeling overwhelming on my own. Like, how do I navigate all the stresses of life as a single woman? And I don't think I ever really healed from all these past breakups. I just plodded on and looked for the next person and the next person, really focusing on how do I get my needs met from a partner, from a romantic partner, rather than how do I meet my own emotional needs. And I think that is such a core piece.
That's so profound and so deep, because I'm sure there are so many people right now who struggle with probably a sense of loneliness and a lack of connection, which in turn drives them to continuously look for this perfect person, and they keep feeling hurt, and they're stuck in a loop, and they are just not sure what to do in that situation.